I am CEO and founder of two companies. One is called as AiSPRY, another is 360DigiTMG. I'm also chairperson for AI implementation with Indian Transportation System, right? ITS. Do we have, for me, something to scribble here? Just figuring out. Usually I don't connect via iPad. Okay, anyways. All right. So I'm chairperson AI for Indian road transportation system. I have close to 20 years of experience. And I work with companies such as HSBC, ITC, Infotech, Infosys, and Deloitte. I hold a double master's degree. One is from IIT and another is from Indian School of Business. Right. And alongside being CEO and founder of two companies, I'm also visiting faculty at Indian School of Business, and I've been teaching for the last 6 years at Indian School of Business. So that's in short about my profile. Okay. I'll quickly walk you through the projects that we have accomplished, right? We have two companies. One is called as AiSPRY, another is called as 360DigiTMG. One feeds into another. So whenever we do AI projects, we include those real world projects as part of our 360DigiTMG training curriculum. And we also give the students of 360DigiTMG opportunity to work on real world projects. So it is twofold. We have roughly 182 plus employees. We are completely bootstrapped. We didn't take the route of funding yet. And we have our offices in Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Chennai, Pune, and Malaysia as well, right? And Coca-Cola, Korean Airlines, Yatra, Volvo, Avianca, all of these have been our clients. A few are still our clients, right? So whenever you start your journey to build AI solution, you need to follow some methodology which is going to guide you completely, such as CRISP MLQ. Now, this is a methodology which will guide you on how to handle the projects end to end, but the start is very important. Until and unless someone understands the business problem, they will not be able to move ahead, right? Then you get a better understanding on what kind of data you have to solve the business problem. How do you collect that? Where do you store it? How do you explore it? How do you build your machine learning model? How will you evaluate whether it is good or bad? Where will you deploy it? So on and so forth. This is a methodology that has to be typically followed, or any methodology which has some method to the madness. Okay. This is one interesting project that we started doing for Amazon. And the problem is people place an order for phones and they open the seal and replace the original iPhone with a duplicate phone. And we send these returned items through the X-ray machine. And that will help us identify whether the phones are, the items are original or duplicate. Excuse me for my handwriting over there, right? So we also firmly believe that until and unless you go and visit the client location, you will not have good understanding on what kind of work happens and how to accomplish projects successfully. Singapore Land Transportation Authority is also one of our clients. But wherever you go, you try to understand the entire process, be it a steel manufacturing company or polymers manufacturing company. It is your job to visit, but visit with a purpose. Understand the entire value chain, and then you'll be able to do justice. And when I visited a specific client called as JSW Steel in Odisha, Jharsuguda, this item that you're seeing here is called as kiln. Okay, and this is inside of the kiln. there is this thick layer called as accretion which forms, right? Which will not allow, let me see if I can, okay. That accretion will not allow the heat to pass through. So that's a challenge, and using image analytics, we have to fix it. So any project that you embark on first, you will have to understand what kind of data do they have, and are they storing the data in a database or data warehouse or a data lake or a data lakehouse? Where are they storing digitally the data? And then you have to figure out what is the org structure of that company, what are the various departments that exist, and then you need to understand what are the key performance indicators of the different departments. And then you collect the requirements from the people working in these departments. Say sales department. So you go to sales head, sales manager, regional sales manager, all of these folks, and then determine what kind of requirements they have, and you build reports and dashboards to answer their questions. And this part is called as business intelligence or data analytics or descriptive analytics, not predictive, descriptive. And then you can create, reports using Microsoft Power BI or Tableau, or you can use Click, or you can use Python, using one of the tools you accomplish the task. And this is an appreciation letter from Biologically Limited for the project that we have done for them. It's a 4,000 crore vaccine manufacturing company. Once descriptive analytics is done, you proceed further with predictive analytics. And as part of predictive analytics, you understand the entire value chain of the company using flow diagrams, process flow diagrams such as SIPOC. S stands for suppliers. Who are your suppliers? I stands for input. What inputs are they giving you, or what service are they giving you? P stands for process. What is the process that you follow by taking those inputs? And what outputs do you get, and who are the consumers of the output? This is what you try to understand. Then you create or you build forecasting models. For example, for one of our clients in West Bengal, they're into steel manufacturing. We came up with a price forecasting model for their coal prices. And if the client comes to know that in the future, coal prices will reduce, will drop, then this customer might want to buy coal at this point of time when the coal prices are going to drop significantly. And also a lot of external factors were considered, such as GDP of the country, right? Of the country from where this customer is procuring coal. They procure coal from UK, they procure coal from South Africa, Indonesia, etc. Okay, so GDP of the country, inflation, all those details are taken. Okay, then in that way, we built raw material forecasting for Biologically Limited, the spice price forecasting, the pallet forecasting, all these models we built. Then in the SIPOC diagram, across the value chain, you can either apply forecasting models, the models that I've just shown you, which will forecast on what might be the future, prices, demand, etc. Or you can also resort to traditional prediction model building. For example, this particular project we have done for a company called as Inservia, not Inservia, Schnell Group. It's a German-based company. And this machine is called as Prima 13. This machine has a computer which will capture the vibration, temperature, humidity, and then it will capture details such as hydraulic pressure, spindle speed, etc. Right? And then we predict whether this machine will fail or not. Okay. If it is going to fail, when will it fail? And which component might fail? Once we predict that a machine will fail in the next 24 hours, an SMS alert will go to technician and they'll quickly go to this particular machine and fix it. Our solution will also predict what could be the different components which might fail. That will help people understand. And you can share that information to the inventory management team who will go and procure the key components which are most likely to fail. And let me quickly check. Yep, I'm sharing my screen. I just wanted to check whether I'm visible or not. Okay. Then in the space of wind turbine failure, also we did projects. Then the third variant is across the SIPOC diagram. Once you understand the entire value chain, you'll understand, you'll have a lot of business acumen and you'll have domain knowledge. So alongside forecasting and alongside traditional prediction model building, you also can look at object detection using computer vision techniques. Okay. For example, for a company called as Hira Group in Raipur, they have 150 acres solar plant, right? And we fly the drones on top of their solar plant, and then we will be in a position to figure out whether the solar panels. This is very tricky, huh? Should not even touch. Okay. Now you'll be able to figure out whether there is a physical damage or electrical damage or excessive dust on the panels, or is there any bird drop, which is limiting the energy production as such. Okay, then this is for a company in Indore, where from their scrap station, we got the details of their scrap material, and using CCTV, we determine whether there are any flammable items or not. Like you will have cylinders, shock absorbers, etc., which might go into the burning furnace and it create a blast, killing the people surrounding. Okay, so we built a solution to detect that. This is for one of the largest Swedish automobile company. While this person closes these clamps, right? There are multiple clamps. If a incorrect process is followed, our solution will determine that incorrect clamping sequence is followed. Yet here, we determine, this is for the third largest steel distributors in India. They are placed in Odisha, in Serbia, right? So we determine how many steel rods exist, how many steel rods are of 8 mm, 10 mm, 12 mm, etc. Okay, and we save the details in the backend database. And then whenever you want to know how many of these are there, you can use ChatGPT kind of application that we built, and you can ask a question. You can actually ask a voice-based question on how many 8 mm steel rods exist in inventory. It will convert English into SQL, like SQL into, your audio into text. The text is converted into SQL, and then it will fetch the data and retrieve the results for you. In that way, quite a few projects in the space of construction, in the space of poultry, okay, in the space of life sciences healthcare, where we automatically count how many vials are there, how many pre-filled syringes are there, and these details are saved in the backend database. Okay, and then automatically the solution calculates how many of these are there and places the details in the backend database. We also built a solution where our solution will automatically detect how many of these pipes, dimensions, thickness, etc., exist on a truck. And these details are once again saved to the backend database. Like this. Shape, dimension, thickness, etc. Then Siemens. Okay, we did a project for Siemens client also, where our solution will detect the object and it will store all these details in the backend database. So at any given point of time, how many parts are lying on the floor, you'll be able to identify immediately. That's an appreciation. Okay. We also worked in the space of clean room. In clean room setting, we capture the details on whether people are exhibiting right pose or not. Are they following the compliance norms or not? Face shield, goggles, mask, gloves, coverall, do they have a slant head, so on and so forth. And we also create a compliance report, which will tell the compliance officer on who are the people who are not following the process. Okay. In the space of road safety, also we did a lot of projects. Tamil Nadu People Limited, where from satellite images, we determine whether the trees are ripe to be harvested or not. Trees such as eucalyptus, casuarina, etc. From Sentinel-2 and the other Landsat, all these satellites, we get the data. And every pixel that you see here is equal to 1 square meter on ground. It is equal to 1 square meter on ground. And then if the length of the branch is more than 3 meters, then the trunk circumference would be more than 6 meters. Then it is going to be ripe to be harvested. In that way, a lot of projects, friends, in the space of embryo, in the space of generative AI, a lot of Gen AI solutions we built for life sciences companies also, using large language models which are trained on medical literature. We did projects for government of India, many things. I mean, the list would go on, right? So hopefully you got some quick insight on what kind of projects we do. For French company called Pandrol, for Delhi urban local bodies, we have done a specific project. Then Tata Hitachi, Indian Railways, Northwestern Railways is our client. For a doctor, we built a solution where you just need to take your facial photo and it will recommend what kind of treatments must be provided. We do projects for sports betting companies such as Fortuna Entertainment Group, which is the third largest in Europe. Right? These are all Gen AI projects. And what we also do is we publish all of our projects wherever we feel that we have done a unique job. We go ahead and publish on the research articles, research journals, international research journals, right? So here is a quick snapshot of a few of our, customers for whom we have been doing projects. These are all the awards and accolades that we have received over a period of time. Yep. So that's in short about our solutions that we built. Now, we would be more than happy, or I would be rather more than happy to take your questions. Please feel free to ask your questions and do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. Please ask. Ahmed, Christian, Hanif, Pallavi, Praveen, Sijin, Smita, Taslima. Go ahead, friends.
Hi, Barney. This is Taslima.
Hi, Taslima. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for the brief session. So I'm the training manager and I'm working in Accord Metropolitan and I'm here from a hospitality industry.
Okay.
So being through your presentation, I'm quite surprised that there is no hospitality touch, right?
Yeah. So, can you give me a few examples of what do you mean by hospitality? Because that's a big industry in its own.
I'm into hotel industry.
Okay. So what we have done is for a specific hotel chain, which is one of the largest in India, without naming the client name, we came up with a solution where we do video analytics to understand whether the guests are happy or not based on their facial expressions. A, right? B, based on the historical information of the client, we predict that if this particular say guest is given the corner room, or if this person is given a room which is facing the scenery, they'll be extremely happy. right? And this particular property that I'm talking about is, I think, the largest in India. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So there is only scope for a few things that we can put on our profile, but these two things we have done, Taslim. And off late, they asked us to build a prediction model or forecasting model to forecast the number of rooms that will be booked over a period of 1 month,
Mm-hmm.
and short-term forecasting and long-term forecasting. Long-term forecasting means for the next 1 month, short-term means for the next 1 week. And if they feel that less number of rooms will be booked, they want to do some offer, some email campaigning, etc., paid campaign, so that their rooms are booked upfront, right? So these kind of things. Now we are working on their orders. Basically, when customers place an order for what kind of food they would like to have for lunch or dinner, etc., we are collating that entire data, and then we are looking at the demographic details of the guests, and then we are looking at what so we are doing segmentation to figure out what kind of people like what kind of food, so that you upfront recommend those things to them, as opposed to, see, for example, the moment they call, as opposed to saying, yeah, hotel service, let me know what kind of food you need. As opposed to that, if the tone changes, wherein you say that, yeah, I understand that you like, maybe butter chicken with uh, butter naan, maybe,
Yeah.
right? So that will leave a lasting impact on the customers, right? So these kind of analysis, it's a very big project that we have been doing for 8 months now. Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay. So this is basically for rooms and dinings you have, like you are working on with.
Yeah, yeah.
So what would be the other departments, like for my HR and my back office team who are at the ground level?
Yeah. So typically, the kind of solutions that we do is in the space of generative AI. What we do is we do a concept which is called as uh, a day in the life of a customer. So we try to go and look at what a specific customer does throughout the day, what kind of reports they do, what kind of emails they send, what kind of activities they perform throughout. And we are now incorporating Gen AI solutions, like, we use all open source so that it doesn't burn into your pocket, similar to ChatGPT, and we create all the required prompts. And once all these prompts are provided,
Mhm.
it's just clicking those things and accomplishing the task. And this will reduce the amount of time people spend on mundane routine work, so that they can work on something more meaningful. This is one thing that we are doing for HR analytics. There is my friend's company in Pune. She was my ISB batchmate, by the way. She was saying that we are working in the space of BPO and there is a lot of attrition.
Mm.
Would you be able to predict who are the employees who might resign, when they might resign? That's called as survival analytics,
Okay.
right? Second thing is when they offer, when they give any offer letter, supposedly, of course, that is what is happening in the industry as well. A lot of people take the offer and they continue applying for other
Other.
companies,
Yeah,
and you will be in the hope that, yeah, this person accepted the offer and would join us, but at the end maybe they will not even answer your calls.
definitely.
So we built a prediction model which will predict whether a person will join you or not post you releasing an offer.
Mhm.
Yeah, so for a fact that you need to have a backup. If there is high probability that this person might not join, then you might want to continue your hiring process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would this also relates to my payroll and my
Absolutely.
this also includes, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. We look into all those different parameters. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
so what about the training aspects?
Yeah. So usually what happens is whenever it's a corporate training that we deliver, we do trainings for Amazon, for Cyient, for Cummins, and a lot of top-notch companies as well. So we try to understand who might be the audience,
Mhm.
what industry they are from, or do you want a generic training first as a foundation level for the entire organization on AI and Gen AI? and the benefits that brings that these solutions might bring. And then we try to understand whether there is any specialized training which is needed for a specific department. We
Yeah.
understand what kind of work they do, and we tailor our training to suit their work needs. So
Okay.
that post training, they actually implement that and
Mm-hmm.
start reaping benefits. The return on investment is something that we clearly show.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
got trained, now you have accomplished this, hence your saving is so much. So you
Mm.
save 10% or 20% of the training cost.
Yeah.
And we also go ahead and do some kind of consulting work if the client asks us for.
Okay. So actually, like the training part I asked is like being a training manager. I used to, I have certain criterias to fill in up, like my training need analysis and my trainings, my annual calendar, my monthly calendar, what kind of trainings I'd be giving it to all my colleagues, kind of that.
Got it. Got it.
And being in training, like we used to training and HR goes along with, so we used to go for like so much of employee engagement activities and other things. So for that, like we might need some video making AIs or like prompting to make a poster and
Uh-huh.
PowerPoint, Excel, those kind of like basic
Got
uh,
it.
modules are required for us. That's
So, yeah, yeah. So for that, there is something called as prompt engineering, Taslima.
Mhm.
These Gen AI tools like ChatGPT or Anthropic Cloud or Gemini from Google, etc., are
Mhm.
only as good as the prompt engineering, right?
Yeah.
And prompt engineers are being paid up to 1.5 crores in India today. And
Yeah, I read it yesterday.
that's the highest paying profession, you can
Uh,
just Google up. So the reason being, you have a lot of Gen AI solutions. If you want to improve the productivity of the employees, it can happen through prompt engineering trainings,
uh,
where
okay.
you understand what kind of prompts, chain of thought, tree of thoughts, how do you carefully craft a specific prompt
Yeah.
so that you get the required benefits from the tool, or get the right responses, right? So those things, even for training material, there are a lot of prompts, knowledge of thoughts, so on and so forth. These techniques, advanced prompt engineering techniques, will help you devise your curriculum, the content which might go into your PowerPoint presentations, etc., with ease. What
Okay.
kind of tests you have to perform, yeah,
Okay.
on your employees before and after the training. Yeah.
Psychometrics also I could able
Oh, yeah,
to do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Amazing
Okay.
things you can do.
Okay. So for everything, only the prompt engineering is the basic.
That's a basic, and Gen AI also, because first of all, people have to be aware of what are large language models, where you issue
Mm.
text and then you get the responses. Then what kind of prompts do you give? Wherein after you give the prompt, you get images or videos or audio or textual data, etc.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Mr. Barney, for your
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
wide knowledge about all this.
Thank you, Taslima.
Hello, hello, Bharani. Hi, this is Sijin here.
Hey, hi, Sijin.
Hello. I also come from the same stream HR, so I think all my questions, similar questions, what I had in my mind.
Yeah.
Taslima madam asked similar questions. I'm
Okay.
curious to know, especially on the, when you said that, you have means and ways to actually predict this candidates who take offer and then don't join.
Yeah.
Apparently that's the biggest challenge today. All the recruiters, in fact my team, they kind of facing it, especially in the IT world, and people end up shopping,
True,
right? That's
true.
the kind of thing. So I'm curious to know how that technically happens. You tend to get information in any kind of survey or some sort of a questionnaires that you run it through the candidates, or how does it generally work? That is one. Second is the existing people. I understand, but because you can run surveys and like for example, I make my team to do a one-on-one sessions with the existing employees, understand from them, they know the pulse from the existing employees, whether they're going to be, at a flight risk for the company or they're going to stay back and all this. So that's still understood. You can run a survey, you
Yeah.
can have some sort of an interaction and things like that. But
Mm.
with candidates, I'm actually curious to know how that happens.
Yeah. So what we usually do is once we understand the business problem, your job is to go and collect the data. Your AI solutions are only as good as data, right? So when it comes to data collection, two things happen. Either you do a research and figure out what kind of variables are needed to predict whether an employee would take an offer and then not join you or not, right? First of all, you need to go to Google Scholar or Baidu Research, etc., and look into what kind of previous projects people have done in the past. If your company has never done such kind of projects, this particular research that you're going to perform will give you details of a lot of variables, such as how many companies did a person work for, overall how many years of experience person has, which location person hails from, where did this person did the education, how many months did that person work for different companies, at what job level or job cadre were they in different years across the year company. We capture all those details. What was the year previous CTC? How much hike are they expecting? We try to get all these different variable details, right? I just gave you a small list of laundry list of variables that go into model building. And then you get as many data points as possible. Each row will become one customer or one employee, right? And then you get this kind of data, and then you look at your output variable, which is y, your company output variable. You have released an offer. After that, did this particular person join you or not, right? That information you would be having. You populate it in the output variable against each and every employee, okay, against each and every person or profile. And then you'll have output variable and all these different input variables. And then you build your prediction model, which will learn the patterns among your output and input variables. And then it will come up with a simple math equation. And in future, when you have any new person for whom you're releasing an offer, you take all these inputs, plug into this model, and thereby you get an output. Okay. Sijin, this is how it is built. And if you have limited data points, there is a concept called a simulation, data simulation. Say you have data of only 5, 6 people. Given these 5, 6 people, or even if you have 3 data points, you go with something called as triangular distribution. And using this distribution, you generate thousands of profiles or thousands of inputs. And it will simulate and figure out, different scenarios and come up with the data set, simulated data set. On top of that, you build your machine learning algorithm. If you have limited data, this is what you do. Yeah, hope answered your question. Just to recap, understand the business problem, do a quick search on Google Scholar or Baidu Research. You'll understand what are the different research articles which people have published that will have details of all the different variables that they used in their model building. You capture the data. If you have at least 3 data points, go ahead with triangular distribution, simulate the data and build a model. But if you have a lot of data points, then that's the gold standard. The more the data, more genuine patterns your model will learn. And the better your model will become as in how you progress, as in how you keep adding more and more data, and as in how you keep training your algorithm.
Okay,
Yes,
that's interesting. That's interesting. Thank you, Bharani. So you said Google Scholar, and what is the other thing?
Baidu, like we have Google, China has Baidu. No matter how much
Okay.
people hate about China, and no matter how much hatred we have towards them, they are AI world capital.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. All right. Thank you so much, friends, for joining in. And I think we have poll questions coming your way. Yeah, would you not this, I believe. So sorry, 1 second. I'll just quickly check. Okay, I think this is the right one. All right. There you go. You have poll questions on your screen now. I would recommend and I would request you all to please respond. And thank you so much, friends, for your time. Thank you, Taslima, Sijan, Praveen, Lakshmi, Amar. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Barney, for your inputs.
Welcome.
Thank you, Varun.
Thank you. Thank you.